everyone, good day and welcome to Alena Media TV. We are broadcasting from Toronto, Canada. I am Elsa Abraham. We have good news, and the good news is Alena Media TV would like to announce to our lovely viewers that we are expanding our programs. So kindly take note of our broadcasting satellite. On Mondays, we'll bring you African history. Tuesdays are editorials. Wednesdays, African news. Thursdays, entertainment. Friday is COVID-19 report. Saturday is entertainment. And Sundays, your say. Our satellite broadcasting is coming soon. We'll begin on the 20th of June 2020, which will be the Memorial Day of our Matriz. Kindly take note of our satellite channel frequency. Now sat vertical 12728. Symbol rate 27500. FEC 5/6. We'll bring you more details after this short break. Kindly stay with us. We are going to focus on the culture and daily life of West Africans. We will give you part 1 of this video today and we'll add a part 2 next week. West Africa is one of the most intriguing gatherings of cultures on the planet. As a traveler, understanding even a little about the complicated issues that West Africans deal with in a daily basis, the role of traditional culture in modern life, the position of women in society, and the complicated mosaic of multicultural relationships, for example, can go a long way towards gaining a foothold in the region. The region's cuisine too offers fascinating insights into one of Africa's least known corners. West Africa is made of 16 countries, namely Western Sahara, Mauritania, Mali, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Niger, Cote d'Ivoire, and Gambia. Family life is the bedrock for most West Africans. In traditional society, especially in villages, homes are arranged around a family compound and life is a communal affair. Family members eat, take important decisions, celebrate, and mourn together in a space that is identifiably theirs and in a family group that spans generations. Such family structures remain strongly evident in many villages and rural areas, and family remains a critical source of support for many West Africans, not least because government welfare is largely non existent. But things are changing. Vast numbers of Africans have migrated to cities where ethnic identity takes an unadded significance as recent arrivals gravitate towards those with whom they share an ethnic tradition. Most from friendships with people from their own ethnic groups. This is particularly true of minorities. If family and ethnic identity are the fundamental foundations of a West African existence, then the nation to which they belong serves to announce who they are to the rest of the world. Most West Africans proudly identify themselves as being, for example, Ghanaian, Senegalese, or Nigerian, suggesting that one success of post-colonial West Africa has been the building of national identity in countries where borders often cut across longer-standing ethnic barriers. Before the arrival of colonialism, West African societies in most cultures organized along hierarchical lines. Each person's place in society was determined by birth and the family's social status. At the top were traditional noble and warrior families, followed by farmers, traders, and persons of lower caste, such as blacksmiths, leatherworkers, wood carvers, weavers, and musicians. Slaves were at the bottom of the social hierarchy. Difficult economic circumstances and urbanization have reduced the relevance of these traditional roles to some degree, but they remain important for many West Africans. For example, Although slavery no longer officially exists, many descendants of former slaves still work as tenant farmers for the descendants of their former masters. Another surviving practice in traditional society is that older people, especially men, are treated with difference, and teachers, doctors, and other professionals, usually men, often receive similar treatment. But traditional culture is not just about immutable social rules. And as it almost often manifests itself in public these days, it can often be a celebration of what binds communities together, festivals, village festivals, which are fundamental to traditional life, are held to honor dead ancestors and local traditional deities to celebrate the end of the harvest. West Africans know a thing or two about living side by side with people from different cultures. For a part, West Africa, as you see it today, is the result of countries of population shift and mass migrations that have created a patchwork of diverse but largely cohabiting cultures. After the colonial period and independence, most groups found themselves being asked to share a new national identity with other cultures that were, in some cases, wholly different from their own. Later, widespread urbanization produced polyglot West African cities that are among the most multicultural on earth. And then there are the twin issues of migration and immigration. Millions of West Africans live in Europe and elsewhere, creating new levels of multiculturalism in the Western countries they now inhabit. The movement of people in search of opportunity within West Africa is less widely reported in the international media, but operates on a much larger scale than immigration to Europe. Cote d'Ivoire, one-time economic miracle due immigrants from across the region, providing much-needed labor for a booming economy and a livelihood for millions of citizens of neighboring cities. However, after political instability began in 2000, the economy slumped and the country descended into a conflict that exposed the thin veneer of tolerance with which many Ivorians viewed the immigrants. West African women face a formidable array of barriers to their participation in public life on an equal footing with men. In much of the region, social mores demand that the woman is responsible for domestic work such as cooking, pounding millet, bearing child, gathering firewood, etc., while many women also work, often as market or street vendors, to supplement family incomes. Indeed, it's depressingly common to see women pounding millet or otherwise working hard while men lounge in the shade working on their social relationships. Education of girls also lags significantly behind that of boys, as evidenced by often appalling female literacy rates. Little wonder, therefore, that West African women are underrepresented in most professions, let alone in government or at the upper levels of industry. In traditional societies, marriage often took place between teenagers, but financial constraints and the growing demand for lavish weddings mean that many women cannot afford to get married until their late 30s or 40s. Polygamy is quite widespread in West Africa. The practice, which predates the arrival of Islam, the Quran allows up to four wives as long as the husband can provide for them all. In particularly strong in rural and predominantly Islamic areas, according to one study. Half of all marriages in Senegal are polygamous. You will be told by men that women are not averse to polygamy and that the wives become like sisters, helping each other with domestic and child rearing duties. In reality, however, fighting the mistrust between wives is more common than marital bliss. However, as few, if any, countries in the region have outlawed polygamy, there's not much women can do. Leaving a marriage simply because a husband takes another wife can bring shame to the woman and her family. she might be cast out of the family home or even physically beaten as punishment by her own father or brothers. Taking a fifth wife, a practice known as wahia, is considered a form of slavery, and in 2014, a Nigerian man was sentenced to 4 years imprisonment for doing so. Female genital mutilation, or often euphemistically termed female circumcision, is a widespread throughout West Africa. The term covers a wide range of procedures, but in West Africa, the procedure usually involves removal of the entire clitoris. Although outsiders often believe that FGM is associated with Islam, it actually predates the religion. Historical records of infibulation date back 6,000 years ago and has far more to do with long-standing cultural traditions than religious doctrines. In predominantly Muslim northern Mali, FGM prevalence rates less than 10%. The procedure is usually performed by midwives on girls and young women. They sometimes use modern surgical instruments, but more often it's done with a razor blade or even a piece of glass. If the procedure is done in a traditional setting, the girl will not be anesthetized. Although nowadays many families take their daughters to clinics to have the procedure performed by a trained doctor, complications, especially in the traditional setting, include infection of the wound, leading to death or scarring, which makes childbirth and urination very difficult. In West Africa, FGM is seen among traditionalists as important for maintaining traditional society. An an all-nated woman would dishonor her family and lower its position in society, as well as ruining her own chances for marriage. A circumcised woman is thought to be a moral woman and more likely a virgin. Many believe that if left, the clitoris can make a woman infertile or damage and even kill her unborn children. Some West African countries have enacted laws outlawing FGM, but poor enforcement means that even where FGM is illegal, the practice continues as before. FGM is illegal in Guinea, for example, and punishable in some cases by life imprisonment with hard labor. Yet an estimated 36% of women still undergo the procedure. According to the World Health Organization, laws against FGM are also on the books in Burkina Faso, which nevertheless has a 76% prevalence rate. In Cote d'Ivoire, 38%, and in Senegal, 36%. The practice is also extremely common in Mali, which covers an 89%, Sierra Leone 88%, the Gambia 76%, Mauritania 69%, Liberia has 66%, Guinea-Bissau 50%, and Nigeria 25%, none of which have laws outlining it. FGM is practically common practice among the Fulani people. NGOs operate throughout West Africa at the village level with a number of long-term projects to promote the ending of the practice, as well as maternal health, education, and more. This is where we end today's episode. Please like, share, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on this particular episode. Thanks for watching.